السلام عليكم. أهلا وسهلا. السلام عليكم. صباح الخير. مساء الخير. So good morning and good afternoon, good evening, because we are in different time zones. أهلا وسهلا فاطمة. فاطمة أول طالبة. ممتاز، شكرا يا فاطمة. إرابور، السلام عليكم. أهلا وسهلا. Adeo. I hope I'm saying everybody's name correctly. أنا آسفة. أهلا وسهلا Ali. أهلا وسهلا نيكول. أهلا وسهلا منها. كيف حالكم؟ بخير؟ So I'm going to just wait for everyone to join. And أهلا جوردي. السلام عليكم. Oh, أهلا Ali and Cloudy. Okay, أهلا. Now I can connect Cloudy from yesterday's chat with Ali today. Thank you, Ali, for making that clarification. شكرا. السلام عليكم Ice. أهلا تموز. Thank you for putting the YouTube there so you get to see your chat. أهلا وسهلا. أنا أشرب شاي. أنا أشرب شاي. أنا أشرب شاي. What is the closest item that's near you, and you can name it? Like I can name شاي and كأس. Oh, كأس is a little bit bigger, like glass, but this one is فنجان because it's smaller. فنجان. فنجان شاي. أنا أشرب فنجان شاي. Name an object that's close to you in Arabic. أهلا. While we're waiting for everyone to join, we can just start with this, and then we will have a few review parts that we need to cover before we start today's lesson. So be ready and get your notes ready. And let's first say or name the objects that are close to us or what you're doing right now. أنا أشرب شاي. أنا أشرب شاي. هذا فنجان شاي. هذا فنجان شاي. ليس شاي بنعناع. هذا ليس شاي بنعناع. هذا فقط شاي أسود. أظن شاي أسود. لا، هذا اسمه شاي. شاي. وهو شاي بدون كافيين. بدون كافيين. البارحة قلنا بدون سكر. هذا شاي بدون كافيين. I'll see how my brain is going to function without caffeine. Alright. جهاز الكمبيوتر المحمول الخاص بي بالقرب مني. جميل يا آلي. جيد. أنا أشرب ماء. dry. ممتاز. الشاي حار. جميل جدا. الشاي نقول ساخن. So حار for hot, like hot weather. But like hot as temperature, when it's related to food, we say ساخن. شاي ساخن أو أكل ساخن. But جو حار. جو حار. The weather is hot. إنه ليس قهوة. إنه شاي. لا، هو شاي. I'm just using the coffee mug for tea. هذا شاي. جميل. ممتاز رابور. ورقة وقلم. جيد. فاطمة، أنا أشرب شاي في الفنجان. جميل جدا. أو بفنجان. Jose, what are you doing or what are you holding? What is the closest item near you? Afani. Tea without mint and caffeine. Okay, صحيح. هذا شاي بدون نعناع وبدون كافيين. هذا شاي بدون نعناع وبدون كافيين. صحيح أفاني. صحيح. I think we have a glitch with emails. That's why the day 4 notes didn't go through. So we'll be sending them today, inshallah, with day 5. All right, so we got everyone started and we have a good number, inshallah. So we'll begin. البارحة. عفوا. لحظة, get one sip. There we go, we can get started now. البارحة, yesterday, البارحة, درسنا, we studied, درسنا, النفي, درسنا النفي, ليس ولا. In the first sentence, فاطمة طبيبة. What do we use? Do we use ليس أو لا? فاطمة طبيبة. 2 عندي صف اليوم. And be careful with Laysa. Remember, we learned that there are 2 ways of using Laysa. So this example will help you remember that rule yesterday that we covered. Fatima, طبيبة. جيد. ممتاز. So فاطمة طبيبة. عندي صف اليوم. جميل جدا, صحيح. So فاطمة ليست. And the reason we're using ليست, and I'll just write on top here, I'll clear it and I'll do proper writing. ليست. فاطمة ليست طبيبة. And because we have Fatima over here, it's female, and طبيبة is feminine, and that's ta' marbuta, not because like all names have to have ta' marbuta. This is just the name Fatima. Female names, there's like Sarah, Raja, like أنا اسمي رجاء. So my name does not have ta' marbuta. So فاطمة ليست طبيبة. The ta over here refers to she, because we're referring to Fatima as هي. If we are ever going to change the name with هي, we only use هي without Fatima. We can't say هي فاطمة ليست طبيبة. Only one. And I get lots of students introduce their sentences by placing the name of the person and the subject pronoun. Try to only do it once, which is هي or Fatima. The next sentence, ليس عندي صف اليوم. جميل جدا. ليس عندي صف اليوم. The 2 forms of ليس, this is just a review. The first one, we do conjugate ليس when we have an adjective. And طبيبة, it's more of a description, doctor, because you describe the title of the person. And you can say فرحانة, ليست فرحانة, ليست حزينة, she's not sad, ليست حزينة. And that would serve as an adjective as well. ليس عندي صف. And this type of ليس, we do not conjugate it with عندي. And we learned that yesterday. جميل جدا يا شباب. طبيبة, ممتاز تموز. طبيبة, doctor. So Fatima is not a doctor, and then I do not have class today. And this would be today, this would be class, and this would be have. And then you say ليس عندي. Try not to use أنا over here. No أنا. The only indication of you as the speaker is this part over here. So do not include أنا. Fatima is a name, and then طبيبة. Of course, the name is feminine, so the adjective or the title or the job المهنة is feminine as well. If we're saying Ahmed, then we would say أحمد ليس طبيب. أحمد ليس طبيب. Then we're using ليس. Ahmed is not a doctor. Alright, جيد يا شباب. فاطمة ليست بالياء. Be careful with the ya, and I'll show you the conjugation in a bit. يلا, let's do this one again. هو يفهم الدرس جيدا. هو يفهم الدرس جيدا. يفهم الدرس جيدا. هو يفهم الدرس جيدا. يلا شباب. ممتاز. جيد. ممتاز. هو يفهم الدرس. And then the second one is أحب الكسل. ما معنى الكسل؟ ما معنى الكسل؟ الكسل. يا الله شباب. ممتاز تموز. You're quick with your typing. جميل جدا. أنت سريع. أنت سريع. جيد منها. So ليست والتاء مبسوطة. So it's the flat ta, not the feminine ta. منها. ممتاز. So هو would be لا. هو لا يفهم because we have a verb over here. هو لا يفهم. هو لا يفهم. هو لا يفهم. And then the second one would be لا أحب الكسل. Both of them would be لا. صحيح. جيد. So لا أحب الكسل. I don't like laziness. Is it laziness like that? Oh, I forgot how to write laziness. Oh, there we go. Yeah. I forgot how to write laziness. See, I don't type laziness a lot. يلا. لا أحب الكسل. لا أحب الكسل. شكرا. And laziness is a noun. So we say كسول is lazy. كسول, which is more of an adjective. So if we're trying to say he's not lazy, we would say هو ليس كسول. هو ليس كسول. هو ليس كسول. جميل جدا. لا أحب الكسل. I don't like laziness. Every time you have a verb, you would place لا. لا أحب. لا أحب. لا أفهم. لا يفهم. And it doesn't matter who is the speaker over here or who you're talking about. Verbs have to have لا before them as negation. نعم, I'm not a lazy student. لست طالب كسول. طالبا كسولا. And I see Tammuz is using the tanween منصوب like طالبا كسولا, and that's another level of grammar. And in the beginning level, we're trying not to include the tanween at the end because students would hear the n as noon, so they would place noon. And we try to just gradually introduce students to those grammatical structures by just saying كسول أو مجتهد instead of مجتهدا. ممتاز. جيد يا فوزية. جميل جدا. Let's get the other one. يلا. يلا يا شباب. يلا يلا. عندي سؤال. مريض. أنا تعبان قليلا. عندي سؤال. مريض. أنا تعبان قليلا. يلا أنا أشرب الشاي وأنتم تجيبون. يلا. ممتاز. جيد منها. ممتاز. جيد. ليس. Okay. جيد. I'll give you another moment so I can see everybody's chat. يلا يلا شباب. And you can use transliteration if you don't have the Arabic keyboard ready. You can just use the transliteration and I'll read it. And my friend, She's a big fan of Arabizi, which is Arabic and English together. And she's really great. We have to get her aboard with us. She's one of my great colleagues in teaching, and she can tell us about Arabizi. If you're there, be ready. You'll be joining soon, inshallah. يلا ليس عندي سؤال. شكرا يا خوسي. Inshallah, Jose. Inshallah. I hope to have you in my classes as well, inshallah. See, I don't get to hear everybody's voice, so the chat is the only interaction I have with you. So please try to be as engaged as possible and as active as possible so I can give you my feedback and receive. So teaching is not one way, it's more of a mutual exchange. You tell me what you need, I give you what you need, and then we just learn together. Okay, so here we go. عندي سؤال. عندي سؤال. ليس عندي سؤال. We say ليس عندي سؤال. مريض, that's the one where we would conjugate ليس. Remember we said we have two ways. Once we use ليس with an adjective, we have to conjugate it based on the person who is speaking. So لست, I'm not. لست, I'm not. And this has to be conjugated. I'll show you the conjugation in a bit. So لست. لست مريض. And that's how you would know it's لست. It's I, because you have another statement that says I am tired. I'm a bit tired. قليلا, a little bit. أنا تعبان قليلا. I'm a little bit tired. And adjectives take feminine. So you would put ta marbuta here attached to it. Let me write it a bit cleaner. Here we go. And I'll put here تعبان. And you would say تعبانة. This has to be flat. So the connection or the connecting line has to be very flat, not as looped as the bowl shape of noon. So it has to be flat. تعبان, tired. I am not sick, مريض. أنا تعبان قليلا. I'm a bit tired. ليس عندي سؤال. جيد. السلام عليكم. جيد. يلا يا شباب. So ليس and لست. Get your notes ready. Nicole, you're there? I know you're very good at taking notes. I got yours. They're really splendid. Amazing notes, mashallah. And Fatima as well sent me her notes. Afin also sent me his notes. So I got a lot of notes from you. And I'm so happy because I get to see your script. And it just feels good that there is a learner on the other side of the screen. I'm not talking to myself. Okay. ليس عندي سؤال. ليس مريض. لست مريض. We say لست. I'm not sick. There we go. Let's learn about the conjugation. No, we reviewed that la is with verbs. That's clear. And what tense? What tense do we use, or what time do we use la with? Do we use it with verbs in the past, or we use it with verbs in the present tense? Let's see if you were following. Yalla, yalla. شكرا أداوة. ممتاز. جميل جدا. So what with verbs we use here? Let's see, do this one more time. We use la with verbs. What tense? And we say أفعال. أفعال is plural and فعل is singular. So this is أفعال and فعل. One verb and أفعال verbs. What tense do we use la with? Past or present? ممتاز. You were following. ممتاز يا أيس وعدنان. جميل جدا. ممتاز. Great. I got a question about ما الفرق بين تعبان ومتعب. تعبان, متعب is also like both of them are the same. It's like you're saying تعبان, tired and exhausted. متعب. متعب. It's another way of saying تعبان. أنا متعب. I'm exhausted. And then this one would be I'm tired. So متعب is another way of saying tired. جميل جدا. There we go. So it's with the present tense. Now you have to tell me what ending. Look, all of them look similar over here. And these ones, they have quite a difference. And I'll put the number over here. What you have to tell me, use transliteration. Does this go as T to ta? What do you think? Am I going to put kasra at the end of T here? Or I'm going to put dhamma? Or I'm going to put fatha? And I'll give you here, let's say this is ana, let's say this is anta, and let's say this is anti. So we're just going to guess which one is ta, which one is t, and which one is tu at the end. So either you put tu, ti, or ta. Ta, ana, ana, ana. Ana, tu. Ana less tu. Ana less tu. أنت تا. أنت لست. أنت لست. أنت لستِ. أنت لستِ. The only way to remember ta and ti is basically by remembering the pronoun. See? You masculine has fatha, you would keep fatha. You feminine has kasra, you would keep kasra. So this is anti, you feminine, and this is anta, you masculine, and this is I. So you would say lestu, I'm not. Lestu, 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 lesta, lesta, lesti, lesti. And here we have the ya, laysa, and that's for huwa, he. And here we have laysat for hiya, she. As you can see over here, there is a ya. So you have the same ya in the infinitive stays when you're going for huwa and when you're conjugating for hiya. So أنا لست طبيبة. أنا لست طبيبة. أنا أستاذة. أنت لست طبيب. أنت مهندس. أنت لست مهندسة. أنت محاسبة. And you can use this negation with titles or jobs if you're reviewing your vocabulary related to jobs, like accountant, engineer. Accountant would be muhasib, and then we have muhasiba for female, muhandis, muhandis, engineer, muhandis, and then muhandisa. And then you keep adding all the other jobs. أنا لست, أنت لست. لست أستاذة قبيحة. لست أستاذة قبيحة يا أستاذتي. لست أستاذة قبيحة. شكرا يا تموز. قبيحة in our dialect, قبيحة is ugly, but in our dialect it means like tough. In Moroccan dialect, but قبيحة would be ugly. لست أستاذة قبيحة. شكرا. هو ليس هنا. نعم هو ليس هنا. ممتاز. He's not here. صحيح يا كريم. أحسنت. جميل جدا. هي ليست هنا. She's not here. لست طبيبة. فطري. جميل. So try to use the verb this sorry, not the verb negation, but the ليس, not negation. No or not. Oops, there we go. لا أحب. أنا عربي. جيد. So you أهلا يا كريم، أنت عربي مثلي. أحسنت يا كريم، شكرا. يلا يا كريم اكتب بالعربية إذن. شكرا جزيلا لك على المساعدة. شكرا جزيلا لك. So we got some native Arabic speakers with us on live chat so they could help and support. So شكرا كريم. تسنيم، أهلا تسنيم. So أنت أنتي أنا. Put your phrases saying I am not with a job title or an adjective. Like أنا لست في البيت. Let's say I'm not home. أنا لست في البيت. أنا في المكتب. I'm in the office. We could say أنا في مكتبي. I am in my office. أنا في مكتبي. So be creative and form your own sentences, because we have a fun part. Asking questions. You only put negation if someone asks you, are you at home? هل أنت في البيت? هل أنت في البيت? In order to engage in a conversation, you all need to master these WH questions, like we call them WH questions in English, because they have the WH. It's like who, see who, what, when, which is WH, where's who? How, who, what, all of them have WH. That's why in English we call them WH questions. In Arabic we say أدوات الاستفهام. أدوات, which are tools. This is the word for tools. And الاستفهام. This is our 5th day and it's our last day. So please make sure you write as many sentences as possible. And I hope we're good with time. We have 2 more minutes. You think you can stay longer? About 5 extra minutes? Take it. جيد. أنا لست في البيت. أنا لست في البيت. And I'll explain to you how you can identify the noun you're using, like البيت instead of بيت. If you're saying I'm not in a house, that would be أنا لست في بيت. I'm not in a house. But if you're quite sure about your statement, I'm not in the house, then you would have to say أنا لست في البيت. أنا لست في البيت. So let's get started with this, and then we will be asking questions, and I'll be calling on someone to ask the question and someone else to respond. That way we can have a cohesive conversation and it will be more real. So who would like to go with a conversation? Can I have 2 volunteers? Maybe Fauzia or Kareem, or you Happy and Irabor. Who would like to be part of a conversation? And you have to type the questions and the other person has to respond, and we all have to watch and enjoy that conversation. Who would like to go with that one? Oh, my alarm. Here we go. Can I have 2 volunteers before we begin learning about WH questions? Yalla. Who would like to be part of the conversation? You have to type in Arabic. No pressure, it's just for fun. It's a study session. أحسنت يا سمر. نعم. Attach البيت ألف لام to بيت. All right, you Happy Me Happy would like to try. And then who would like to join him? Okay, Ali. There we go. We got 2. How? This is how we're going to do it, Karim. So for instance, we could start with learning about hal. And now we have you, happy me, and Ali. Okay. So we could start with hal. Hal means does or is. So for instance, I could say هل أنت أستاذ? هل أنت أستاذ? Let's say Ali will ask you, happy me, هل أنت أستاذ? Are you a teacher? أو هل أنت تسكن في دبي? Do you live in Dubai? هل أنت أستاذ أو هل أنت تسكن في دبي? Then you, happy me, has to respond to her question. So let's have this started using هل. And هل, we only use them with does or do and is and are. When we're saying هل أنت, this would be are you. وهل هو, is he. هل هو. But if we're saying a verb, which is referring to does or do, we say هل تسكن, do you live. So for instance, كريم, هل تسكن في دبي? ممتاز. هل تذهب إلى المدرسة Ali? Okay, Ali asked you, you, happy me. So if she's saying هل تذهب إلى المدرسة, now you have to respond. Do you go to school? هل تذهب إلى المدرسة? أحسنت يا Ali. ممتاز, جميل. هل تذهب إلى المدرسة? You, happy me, have to respond to Ali's question. Okay. So everybody hold on, please, so we can get the chat going. Yalla. So give him a moment or give her a moment until he or she gets the response. هل أنت مدرس? So Ali asked هل تذهب إلى المدرسة. If you could type that question one more time, Ali. That way we can get you, happy me, happy's answer right underneath it. هل تذهب إلى المدرسة? هل تذهب إلى المدرسة؟ هل عندك سيارة يا أستاذة؟ جميل جدا. هل بيدك شاي أو كافي? Okay, Tahir is asking me. But I'd like to get at least 2 participants engaged in a conversation. So if you could hold on to the chat right now until we get one question from Ali and an answer from you, happy me. So if everybody holds on to the typing in the chat until we get that answer. That way we can be consistent. And then I ask like Tamuz and Tahir to respond to meta, when, and then لماذا, why, ماذا, كيف, how, ما, what is, من, who, أين, where, من أين, where from. That way, if we have students from different levels and backgrounds, we could help them look at the script again and learn from the script. That way they won't get confused. So if we could hold on to the chat and let me get Ali and you, happy me. جيد. I can't hear your voice, so I need to see the chat. Shukran. Thank you everyone for responding to that. جيد 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 جيد. يلا you, happy me. أنا ليس. No worry, you, happy me. No worry at all. So أنا ليس. أنا لست في المدرسة. جميل جدا. Karima, you're still there? Can you help and type in for us أنا لست في المدرسة. أنا لست في المدرسة. هل يمكنك أن تكتب أنا لست في المدرسة يا كريم؟ You happy me response was أنا لست في المدرسة. When you're responding saying I am not, you have to use the conjugation of أنا لست. Whether you're saying طبيب, doctor, أنا لست طبيب. أنت في البيت, أنا لست في البيت. هل تسكن في أمريكا؟ أنا لا أسكن في أمريكا. هل تدرس؟ أنا لا أدرس. If you're using the question with a verb like هل تدرس, the response has to be negated using لا أدرس. هل تكتب؟ لا أكتب. هل تسمع؟ لا أسمع. So I'm using action verbs. هل أنت طبيب؟ لا أنا لست طبيب. هل أنت في البيت؟ أنا لست في البيت. ممتاز. Now let's get another. أنا لا أسكن في أمريكا. جيد يا كريم, أحسنت. يلا, let's have another pair of participants to engage with ماذا. What? ماذا. And ماذا, we always use it with verbs. So we say ماذا تدرس, ماذا تكتب, ماذا. And stay with me as I explain this right here. متى with a verb. متى تذهب, متى تنام. When do you sleep? When do you go? When do you do this? So متى تنام, متى تذهب, متى تدرس. All of the verbs you use with متى have to be in the present tense. In the beginner level, I'm only indicating the beginner level. Don't engage in past events yet at this stage until you perfect the verb conjugation. You really need to master the verb conjugation in the present tense in order for you to transition to past events. So present tense first as a beginner, then past tense in upper beginner and early intermediate level. So please make sure you stay within that frame of mastering the present tense and then moving on to the past. So متى تنام? When do you sleep? أنام, then you would say أنام أنام على الساعة أنام على الساعة 10 مساء. I sleep at 10 p.m. أنام على الساعة أنام على الساعة. If you don't know how to say time yet or to tell time, you can say أنام على 10. You can only say على, which is a short form. أنام على 10 at 10. أنام على 10. متى تنام؟ أنام على 10. Then we have لماذا. لماذا also has to be with a verb. And I'm going to come to two participants who are going to engage in a conversation. يلا يا شباب, be ready. لماذا, لماذا, also with a verb. لماذا تدرس العربية? لماذا تدرس العربية? Tamuz is saying أنام بعد درسك. I sleep after your class. So that must be very late at your time zone. جيد. Okay. Tasneem, we will inshallah put a new series of listening activities. So just be with us inshallah in the channel, and you will receive notification about the listening activities. So لماذا with a verb, ماذا also with a verb, كيف, كيف you can say كيف حالك, how are you, and you can also say كيف تكتب, how do you write your name. I'll show you a few phrases in a bit. ما, what is, ما هذا, you use it with a noun, like ما هذا, this, what's this, ما هذا. من, you use it with a person. So ما with an object. ما هذا, ما هذا, هذا شاي. ما هذا, هذا شاي. من هذه, female. من هذه, who's this? هذه أستاذة. أنا اسمي رجاء. So you'd say هذه أستاذة رجاء. We're going over time today on our fifth day because I need to leave you with a good amount of vocabulary to practice. So please stick with us. Usually the study sessions are for 30 minutes. We give another extra 10 minutes for Q&A. But now I have to give you a good amount to end your 2021 study session with good memories. And inshallah, you can start your 2022 with other objectives to stay committed to learning Arabic. So let's finish now. من طاهر. من طاهر. طاهر طالب. من فاطمة. فاطمة أستاذة. من تسنيم. تسنيم طالبة من لبنان. من I guess I remember now but I من كريم. كريم عربي. صحيح يا كريم أنت عربي. كريم أستاذ ممكن. You happy me happy. من you happy me happy. لا أعرف. So I would say لا أعرف. من كتب الدرس. Who wrote the lesson. صحيح. And we would stick to the present tense for the beginner level. So we would say من يكتب الدرس. Who is writing the lesson. And we could use again verbs over here. أين. Nicole. أين Nicole. Sorry, I've been calling on your name a lot, Nicole, because you're the first one who sent me her notes. So I just remember your name now more. كريم طالب من الجزائر. ممتاز. Nicole, أين أنتِ? Where? So I would say أين, a noun or a name. أين Nicole. And I could also say أين تدرس. أين تدرس يا كريم. أين تسكن يا كريم. أين نيكول. لا أعرف. I don't know. أين. من أين. And we learned that one. من أين, where from. من أنت. من أنت. Who are you. صحيح. من أنت. من أين أنت. كيوتشي. من أين أنت يا كيوتشي. Where are you from. من أين أنت. من أين أنت. So you have هل over here. ما من متى. Let me put them in here. أين. لماذا. عفوا. من أين. من أين. and then كيف. ماذا. أنا يفوز كيوتشي. أوكي أنا لا أفهم. من أين أنت يا طاهر. طاهر يعرف لهجة خليجية 60%. ممتاز. من أين أنت يا فاطمة. أنا من تركيا تموز. ممتاز. I like how you are all using the emojis. That would help me see your comments. نعم. أنا في أمريكا. أين أنت. See, if I'm using أين, it would be where are you. أين. أين أنت. And I can use the noun and I can use the verb. So let's get to look at these questions. Same thing. Now I explained it to you over here. You will see it in actual sentences. هل أنت طالب. هل أنت طالب. هل أنت طالب. Are you a student. You can use a title over here. When I say a title, it means it could be student, doctor, and you can also use an adjective. هل أنت تعبان. أنت طالب. أنت. Are you a student? Are you a doctor? متى تذهب إلى الجامعة. متى تذهب إلى الجامعة. متى تذهب إلى الجامعة. متى تذهب إلى الجامعة. لماذا تدرس العربية؟ Why are you studying Arabic? لماذا تدرس العربية؟ ماذا تفعل? What are you doing? ماذا تفعل? And see, here I'm using a verb, here I'm using a verb, and here I'm using a verb. With متى, with لماذا, and with ماذا. هل, I can also use it with a verb. هل تدرس? I can say هل تدرس. Organize these questions in your head, and that way you can produce a conversation. ماذا تفعل؟ كيف تكتب اسمك بالعربية؟ Oh, here we go. Let's get everyone to write their names in Arabic. How do you write your name in Arabic? كيف تكتب اسمك بالعربية؟ ممتاز أداو. أنا في ريو دي جانيرو. ممتاز. أنا طالب. أنا لست طالب. جيد يا كريم. أنا من باكستان. كثير. ممتاز. جيد. الجزائر. نحن جيران يا كريم. نحن جيران. أحسن لغة في العالم هي اللغة العربية. صحيح، الحمد لله. أنا لست رئيسة. جيد. رئيسة. president. أوبس. رئيسة. رئيسة. There you go. رئيس. president. And we say رئيسة. رئيسة. كيف تكتب اسمك بالعربية؟ Let's see if everyone can write their name in Arabic. اكتبوا اسمكم بالعربية في الشات. يلا شباب. أنا من المغرب وأنت من الجزائر. نحن جيران يا كريم. نعم، أنا من المغرب. أهلا فاطمة. أنت فاطمة خان. فاطمة ممتازة ممتازة ممتازة. I saw her writing. ما شاء الله. I was very impressed. ما شاء الله. هي أستاذة ممتازة وخطها جميل جدا. خطك جميل جدا يا فاطمة. منصور أو منظور. عفوا، منظور. أهلا منظور. ثمر أو سمر. ثمر. طاهر زمان. أهلا يا طاهر زمان. ياوز. ممتاز. زقاق. Ali literally translated the name Ali. I mean the noun Ali as زقاق. That's a good one, Ali. أحمد. أهلا أحمد. أريو. أربو أور. أريو. أوكي، ممتاز. علي عبد. أكتب اسمي علي عبد. صحيح، أهلا يا علي عبد. زقائق. زقاق. أو طريق. أنا منظور من الكاشمير. جيد. سمر. سمر. أظن سمر. You wrote ثمر. سمر صديقي. كريم put the correction right there for you. So if you'd like to check it, سمر. with سمر. من الكاشمير. جميل جدا. اسمي منها حارس. جيد. ممتاز ممتاز. أداو. جيد يا أداو. See, that helps me read your name correctly in Arabic if you put it in Arabic. Yusuf. Afghanistan. Samim min Afghanistan. Jameel. So if you say your name as S, sa, that would have the sin. If you're saying your name with Sod, that would have the so. Samim. So. ممتاز. طاهر. سمر يعني من أسمر. صحيح. Samar, it's not means, I think where I read it before, it's one of the names of the moon, like nighttime, summer. So asmar, samar is more of a tan, samar, which is asmar with an alif, samar. But samar is nighttime. It's staying up late, samar. And it's one of the names of the moon. I believe that's what I remember about samar as one of the names of the moon, but it's nighttime, samar. ممتاز ممتاز جيد. أحسنتم. You're all good, ما شاء الله. ما هذا ما هذا. You can practice by holding any item you have near you. So I could say ما هذا. هذا هاتف أو موبايل. Everybody now calls it mobile. هذا تليفون. هذا قلم. هذا كأس. هذا كتاب القواعد. هذا كتاب القواعد. هذه قصة. هذه قصة. لا أعرف ماذا عندي. نعم. هذا قرآن. هذا قرآن. هذه أقلام. So you could go with objects near you and you can say هذا for masculine and هذه for feminine. And I'll just put this. هذه, this. But this one is feminine. هذا is masculine. من هذه? Who's this for a female? من هذه? من أنت? من هذا؟ أين تسكن؟ من أين أنت? And once you're done with these WH questions in the beginning level, you will not face any issues in the upper levels because you already mastered how to use these WH questions أو أدوات الاستفهام in the beginning level. Write as many questions as possible. So let's see if someone would like to engage. If someone would like to engage in a conversation, I'll have 2 volunteers. There we go. In the chat now. And they can ask questions. It's like you're chatting with someone using Arabic and you're asking someone questions in Arabic. Who would like to volunteer? Who would like to volunteer? 2 volunteers to engage in a dialogue using WH questions. Try to ask questions in the present tense, not past tense or past conjugation. We have many learners, but I'd like you to be mindful of others who are still learning Arabic in the first stages, so we don't want to create some sort of intimidation. Just be mindful of that. Use the present tense only, like هل تكتب, هل تدرس, هل تعمل, ماذا تفعل, أين تسكن, من أين أنت, من صديقك, who's your friend, كيف تكتب اسمك. Be as engaged as possible. تسنيم وآلي, I get them both. جيد. Okay, let's have Tasneem, Ali, and Tammuz. All 3 of them. You can all be part of the conversation. And we'll all read their conversation and I'll help you. Yalla ya shabab. Yalla, go ahead. Tasneem, Tammuz, wa Ali. Tasneem من لبنان, Tammuz من تركيا, وآلي من الإمارات I think so, من الإمارات. يلا. تركيا, لبنان والإمارات. Let's see how many of you. And please, the rest of us have to hold on and not type in anything in the chat because I'd like to observe the conversation. Now it's social media, people write to each other and you do use your chat. Let's use it in a good way and for a good cause, which is practice in Arabic. Yalla. Tasneem, you can start. And Minha, we're going to have Tasneem, Ali, and Tammuz. And you can hold on. I'll have you in the next conversation if you'd like to wait. um, ليس هناك مشكلة. I didn't read your joke يا طاهر, so it's okay. يلا يا تسنيم, ابدأي. Go ahead تسنيم, and then Tammuz will respond to Tasneem, and then Ali will respond to Tammuz. يلا Tasneem, you start, and then Tammuz after her, and then Ali. أنا مبسوطة. يلا ask a question يا تسنيم. يلا يا تسنيم. You're asking Tammuz. ممتاز. السلام عليكم. يلا يا تموز. لا, هي هنا. ممتاز. يلا يا تموز. تسنيم asked السلام عليكم. أحسنت. يلا يا Ali. You could say أهلا وسهلا. Okay. All right, we can have Tasneem and Tammuz, and then you can jump in the conversation يا Ali if you find room. من أين أنت يا تسنيم؟ ممتاز. يلا. أحسنتم. جيد. ممتاز. So شكرا. يلا يا تموز, تشرفت بمعرفتك. أنا من تركيا. ممتاز. Very nice to meet you. I'm from Turkey. ممتاز. أنا آسفة. Why are you sorry, تسنيم? This is no pressure at all. This is just a fun way of writing. And ما لونك المفضل؟ ما لونك المفضل يا Ali? أحسنت. So Ali saved the conversation. ما لونك المفضل يا Ali? لا يا تموز. We ask questions that we don't have to get into like ما اسم والدك. I mean, you can just come up with a name, Tasneem. You don't have to put actual names. ممتاز. تشرفت بلقائك. أنا من الإمارات. أحسنتم. شكرا. عفوا. Okay, so you could do all of this conversation like that. ممتاز يا شباب. ممتاز. You can start another round of a conversation like this in the live chat. If maybe in the community, I'll try to post this on the community. That way you can respond in the comment section and you can see each other's questions. The reason this is one of the best ways to engage in a conversation, number one, you're typing in Arabic. Number two, you're learning from your other friends' vocabulary or set of vocabulary. And then you're also in the situation. You don't know what question he's going to ask you. That's what spontaneous conversations are all about. You don't know what people are going to ask you, but you have a set of vocabulary to help you produce the language. So, من أين أنت؟ أنا من لبنان. تشرفت بمعرفتك. أنا أيضا تشرفت بمعرفتك. أين تسكن؟ أسكن في تركيا وأعمل في تركيا. وأنت يا Ali. And then you engage a third person. أنا أيضا أدرس العربية. تشرفت بمعرفتكم. And you can say معرفتكم even if we have the dual. But just use what you know. Ali يحب العربية. أين أنت يا Ali? Okay, ممتاز. جيد. Okay, so we were going, if need one help, we're here. شكرا يا كريم. Okay, ممتاز. So that'll be all for today. And I'm so happy that you were engaged in the chat. You all completed 5 live sessions of Arabic study. You can do that on your own. You can find a group of students that would like to join you, and you can meet with them through Zoom or some other forms. But designate that time for learning Arabic and chatting in Arabic, using common phrases, watching a movie in Arabic, listening to music in Arabic. Do anything together. That way you learn through their style and they learn through your style, and you are exchanging different ways of learning. And it's fun. You create some sort of a support system for each other. So please make sure you create that environment for yourselves. Like I said before, if you'd like to have those private group sessions, tomorrow is the last date for registration. You can just book your session, and we'll have weekly meetings for 1 hour and 30 minutes plus 2 hours of homework, and that's for 3 months. So around 4 hours a week of Arabic studies for 3 months, which is really great. And I have many groups that are part of this program. They've been part of it since May of this year. So alhamdulillah, they're doing really great. شكرا جزيلا لكم. Thank you so much, Edin. شكرا جزيلا. Tasneem, you all did wonderful job. Tamuz, Tasneem, wa Ali. Ali, you're saying, phew, I was almost dead. You did great, Ali. ممتاز. وأنت أيضا, you happy me, you did great. وتموز أيضا, you did wonderful. شكرا يا كريم على مساعدتك. Kareem helped as well. Thank you so much. And Minha, you're here. If you're still here, you can put your question if you have any. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to skip your question. It's just we wanted to have that conversation going. ممتاز. شكرا جزيلا لكم يا شباب. And it was wonderful being with you for 5 days. And I'm so happy to see the same learners every session. You all passed 5 days of commitment. So you can do it on your own. ممتاز ممتاز. مع السلامة. وإن شاء الله stay with us, and Arabic Khatawaat will be posting more material to help you. Just be mindful that the material will be for different levels. And hopefully I'll be sending indicators on this is for level 1, this is for level 2. That way you can find the right resource to help you. مع السلامة يا شباب. تشرفت بمعرفتكم. Thank you for joining from different parts of the world, different times of the day. شكرا جزيلا فوزية, تموز, شكرا يا سمار, شكرا يا كريم وسيد, شكرا فاطمة. It was really wonderful. 5 days, mashallah, you all did great, mashallah. شكرا جزيلا. وأراكم. I'll see you another time. Any announcements about live sessions will be posted on the community, and inshallah I'll keep your emails to send you these notes and any additional notes for future communication. Assalamu alaikum. مع السلامة. مع السلامة شباب. Yes, Fatima, please send the remaining notes. Naam, if you still have notes, please send them. Good night, Layla Saida Ali. You did great, Ali. جيد. مع السلامة شباب.